Okay, hello and welcome back. This is going to be our last tutorial for the set of tools and instructions. You already managed curves and surfaces, and today we're going to do the final project. I'm going to show you how to create a faucet on Rhinoceros, and then the final project is going to be creating also a faucet but completely personalized, where you have different revolves and different designs, but the steps are going to be the same. So you can use the steps for your design, but your project will be creating a new faucet. So you don't have to hand in the one that we're going to develop today. You have to hand in a complete and new faucet with your personalized work. So you want to pay attention to the tutorial, do some steps, but you can personalize your work. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is open Rhinoceros on large objects, centimeters. Okay? So let's begin. Let's start with the first part of the faucet, that is the bottom part where the base is. And for that, we're going to maximize the top view. Remember always to have snap and planner activated for this part of the tutorial. We are going to make a 6 centimeter radius circle. Okay, we're going to make 6 centimeter radius. And we're going to make another circle on the coordinate plane -15, 0, x minus 15, and this one is going to be a little bit smaller, about 4 centimeter radius. After you have that, we're going to copy this circle, paste it, and put it on the other side of my design. Okay? Remember that they have to be at the same distance from the center of the first circle. So we have 3 circles. Very simple. Now I'm going to teach you a new tool, and it's in order to place a curve that is tangent to these curves. So we go to curve, arc. We're going to create an arc that is tangent to the curves. So I'm going to start clicking on the top part of my first circle, then on the top part of my second circle. Then on the command line it says third tangent curve. Here's how much I want to create the curve. Okay, how pronounced is the curve? So in this case, I don't want it to do it very pronounced. I can leave it there. Okay, you can put it on -8, 4, -8x, and 4y. You can click there on that point. Okay, and then in order to make the arc, you can click anywhere on this part. Now here we have our arc. After we have this, we need to create another one exactly the same on this part, then on the bottom. So here's another tool. When you need to duplicate a curve or a solid or a surface, and you need this curve to be mirror, okay, to look exactly the same but on the other side, you can go to transform, mirror. Now it says select objects to mirror. I'm going to choose this curve. I'm going to press enter, and the mirror plane is the center of the circle. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Transform, mirror. I'm going to select my object to mirror, press enter, and I'm going to create a line that goes through the center of the circle. Okay, when it's placed, I can click again. Now I have my mirror. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same with these two. Now this time I'm going to choose transform mirror, and I'm going to choose the 2 curves. Okay, press enter, and my mirror plane is going to be an horizontal line. And now I have all my curves. Okay, now this is the base of my faucet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to teach you a new tool, because I want to take the lines that are inside out, and then I want to join all the rest. Okay, so here we go. On the left side, there's the split option. I'm going to click on split, and I'm going to select the objects to split. I'm going to split this circle, and this circle. Then I'm going to press enter, and now the cutting objects, I want to split them with the curves that I created. Okay, now after I select that, I press enter, and now my circles have been split, and I can take away the parts that I don't need, that are the parts inside. That way I can have just the base of my faucet. Now to finish this, I'm going to select all the curves, and I'm going to join them. Here's the option to join. Now I have a complete set of curves that I can use. Now I have only the curve that helps me to create the base. Okay, now after I have created the curve, I'm going to make a solid out of this curve. Now here's a new option. Now I'm going to go to solid. Now this time I'm creating solids. Very similar to surfaces, but they're all closed surfaces. Okay, a solid is a closed surface. So I'm going to go to solid, extrude planar curve, and in this case I'm going to choose tapered. Okay, now the tapered option will give me a solid that starts becoming smaller as I extrude the curve. So I'm going to select the curve to extrude, press enter, and I am going to extrude it only 2 centimeters. But as you see, these 2 centimeters are a little bit smaller. That way I can have a more attractive look for the base of my faucet. So I'm going to click only on 2. If I want, I can right click ghost it so I can see how the faucet is looking. Okay, so here I have the solid is a closed surface. Okay, now after I create this base, and before I start putting some details to it, I have to create another base, but just for the 3 parts that I'm going to use of the faucet. Okay, so I'm going to create a cylinder. So on the solid toolbox, I'm going to create a cylinder, and this cylinder is going to be on this. It's going to be centered on the same place where I created the circle. Okay, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to make a cylinder that sticks out maybe 1 centimeter. Okay, so it's going to stick out of the base about 1 centimeter. Okay, now I'm going to copy this, paste it, and put it on the other side. Okay, that way I have my two bases. Okay, then I'm going to do the same, another cylinder, but in the middle. That way I can use the middle. Okay, in this case I'm also going to make it stick out about 1 centimeter. Okay, now after I have this, I need to make this only one solid. Okay, the base doesn't need to have cylinders and then the base apart. I need to make it one solid. In this case, I'm going to use an option called Boolean Union. This option is for you to put together different solids into one. That way you don't have different meshes. Okay, So let's write it down on the command line, Boolean Union, and here we have the option, and it says select surfaces or polysurfaces to union. In this case I have I'm going to choose my cylinders, okay, and I'm going to choose the base that I created prior to this. Now it created all the meshes. As you see, you don't see the parts that were inside of the cylinder. Now it's a complete, wherever I click, it's a complete mesh. It's a complete solid. Okay, so here I have only one solid now. If I put render, I can see it better. Now this is the solid. Okay, now in order to make it a little bit more organic, I need to fillet the edges so it can look a little bit better. Now the edges, I'm going to start with the cylinders. So I'm going to go to solid, fillet edge, okay, and instead of 1, the radius 1, I'm going to see if 0.2 is better. Then I can see the preview before I choose it. So I can go to here, I want to fillet this edge, then I want to fillet this one, okay. It's going to be out. Nope. This, okay, then select, of course, the top one and the bottom part, okay. That way I can see how it looks. I press enter and I can click on preview to see how it looks, okay. Now as you see, I can it still works because I'm not touching the edge of the base. So that's very important, because when you do fillet and you fillet too much, then you're going to open a hole on the solid. Okay, so after I have this, press enter, and here I have a little bit my edges filled. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click enter again. I'm going to press enter. That way I can fillet this part, and that's it. Okay, let's see how it looks. Now it looks a little bit more organic. Okay, it's rounded on the upper part and on the bottom part. So very good. So now we have the base of our faucet. Now this base needs a place where to put the handles, because these handles are not like this. These handles actually are holes that go inside. Okay, now for this I'm going to make another cylinder a little bit smaller than the one I did before. Just a little bit smaller. Since I have the snap on, I want to take the snap off. That way I can make it just a little bit smaller. Doesn't need to be very much, but just a little bit. Okay, and you can make it stick it out as much as you want. There's not an exact measurement, because we're gonna take that away. We're gonna make a hole out of it. Okay, now I'm gonna copy that cylinder and paste it and put it. Okay, for this you want to activate snap again, so you can locate it exactly at the center of the other cylinder. Okay, so here we have it. Now what I want to do is that I want to take this out so I can have a hole inside where it's going to be my faucets. Okay, now let's just place them 1 centimeter up, okay, so they don't show on the bottom part. See, on the bottom part it doesn't show. And let's use the following command, Boolean, but this time is Boolean Difference. What we're going to do is that we're going to take out part of a solid. Okay, so Boolean Union and Boolean Difference are very important tools. That way you can extract or just unify different objects. Now it says select first set of surfaces. In this case is the surface A, where I want to take the cylinders out, so it's the big surface. Always think it that way. Okay, A minus B. A is the surface that I have. Then press enter, and now I'm going to select the second set of surfaces that are my cylinders. Press enter again, and here I have the holes on my base. Okay, now remember that on top of these I'm going to have the little faucets. Okay, now I'm going to do exactly the same to this one, to the one in the middle. Have to create a cylinder first. Okay, in this case it doesn't matter how big you do the cylinder, as long as it's just a little bit smaller from the edge of the base. Okay, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to take it out a little, just 1 centimeter, and then I'm going to apply Boolean Difference again. Boolean Difference, choose this set of curves, enter, then my cylinder, enter, and I have the other part of the base. Okay, so here we are. Very good. Now for this part of the tutorial, we are going to make the handles and obviously the rest of the faucet, okay, where the water comes out. Now in this case I'm going to maximize the front view because I'm going to use an option that you guys know already, and it is Revolve. Okay, so for this part I am going to make I'm going to make an axis to just right in the center. I'm going to make an axis to see how big are the handles that I'm doing. I'm going to choose this handle over here. Oh, but first, something very important. Okay, is that I'm going to use the option OSNAP in this case because I want to start on the center of the faucet. That way I can do the revolve and it will be completely on top. Okay, so in this case I'm going to make the polyline. As you see on the top view, you can see where the cursor is. So if I put the cursor here, I can see on the top view that the cursor is in the middle of the circle. Okay, so my handle, let's see if it looks, it can be about 5 or 6 or 7 centimeters tall. Okay, I'm going to choose here, and then I'm going to go down. Okay, there we go, and press and click, and then press enter. Make sure that this line, it's just a single point on the top view. That way you make sure that the line is not diagonal. Okay, and of course I am going to draw the revolve. I'm gonna draw the curve. Now remember that if I want to make changes after I make the revolve, I should record history. But first I'm going to make the curve. I can make a simple curve. So you see with the OSNAP on, I can see where the curve is going to start. I'm going to make okay, so as you see, I'm gonna make this revolve just, of course, just on the top of the axis because I want it closed completely. Okay? Press enter and I have my curve, and I want to take it all the way to this point because I want it closed. I want a closed revolve. Now after I have this, I need to record history. Recording the history of my revolve, that way I can change it after I have the surface. I'm going to click on record history, go to surface revolve, select curves to revolve, it's this one, and of course the start of the axis, and the start angle is 0, enter, and the revolution is 360. Okay? Now as soon as I do this, the record history stops. Now look, after I have one of the handles of my surface, I can actually change it with control points. Okay? Now I can change it a little. I want to make it a little bit more. Okay? Now it starts looking a little bit better. Okay, so this handle looks a little bit better. I want to make it a little bit more. Now you can fix it as you want. The good thing about recording the history is that you can change if you don't like how it looks, you can change it here. See if I can. Nah, this way is better. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave my handle like this, and I'm gonna take the control points off with right click, and I can continue with my design. Okay. Now, using Boolean Difference, I also want to create some different design on top of my handle. So I'm gonna make a cylinder, just a cylinder that is gonna come out. Now, as you see, I'm gonna go to the top view, to one of the sides, and I'm gonna disable the OSNAP for this option. Okay, and I want to make a cylinder that kind of like splits all my object. Okay, but this cylinder, even though there's no measurement, I just want to touch this part of the handle. Okay, I'll tell you what I need it for later, but as long as you make a cylinder, it doesn't matter the height, but the cylinder kind of like splits my object, it works. Okay, so I'm going to make one cylinder, and then I'm going to show you a new option. Maybe I want to stick it out a little. Okay, just touch a small part of the handle. Okay, and here we can do something very interesting, and I'm gonna create an array. So you can go to transform, array, along a curve. Okay, now the path curve is gonna be this one. Okay, let me do it again. Path curve. Whoa. Yeah, the path curve can be chosen on the bottom part of the solid. That way is easier. Okay, so you can select the path curve, and we're gonna choose four items. Okay, now he made an array of these 4 cylinders on the handle. Now you should be asking yourself, what is this for? Like, this doesn't look like a handle. Now with Boolean Difference we can fix that. Okay, Now we're going to go to Boolean Difference. That says select first set of curves. Sorry. Select surface. It's going to be this one. And then I'm going to choose these other four surfaces. Choose this one. I'm going to have to. Yep. Second set. Okay. Okay, like if you're on this point, we have to just fix a small part. So we're on this part of the video. Don't do Boolean difference yet. Before we continue, like I didn't remember, this has a hole on this part, on the bottom part. In order to do Boolean difference, you need solids. You need the object to be completely sealed. So we are going to seal this object. We're going to select it, and then we're going to go to solid and cap the planar holes that it has. We have solid, cap planar holes, okay, and we capped our solid. Now we have a solid, and now we can do the Boolean difference. So we're going to do Boolean difference. And this time it will work because this is a complete solid. Okay, now I select my objects, and here I took out the parts that I needed. I just wanted to take off a little piece of the handle, that way it looks a little bit better. Now after I have this, I want to, of course, fillet the edge of these small handles to see how it looks. So I fillet the edges of the 4 of them. Okay, and it looks a little bit more real. Okay. Okay, ready? After I have this, I need my object to be copied, and then I paste it and just put it on the other side because it's going to be exactly the same. Okay. And I'm missing only one more thing for my faucet. Okay, you guys can do any design. I want you to create different designs. Okay, I gave you this one, but you can, that's what I need you to do, to create a new and complete faucet. Something that somebody would buy. Okay? Very good. And you can be, if you change how much the cylinder it's inside the object, you can have a better result. Okay? Okay, for the next part of our faucet, we are only missing the last part where the water comes out. And in this case, I'm going to make sure to activate OSNAP and choose end, activate end, and activate center. That way I can make a curve that comes out the center, it goes up and makes the curve that I want. So I'm going to click on curve. Now on the front view, as soon as the center comes out, okay, as soon as the center comes out, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go to right view and maximize the right view, and I'm going to make the curve, like the curve where the faucet will end. Okay, you can change this, remember, it can look, but more or less it's something like this. So you create your curve however you like. Okay, and so it can, like on ghosted, if you choose ghosted, you can see the curve like this. Okay, so here I have the curve. It's more or less where I want it to be. Something very important is to know Because what we're going to do is that we're going to revolve an object and then we're going to make it turn into that. Okay? So you need the curve, and then we need to find out what is the exact length of the curve that we just drew. So we're going to go to Analyze, Length. We're going to select the curve that we created and press Enter. Now the length is 45.52 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to remember this, 45.52 centimeters. You guys are going to have different lengths, but that's the one that we have to use later on this tutorial. Okay, so let's continue. Now we have the length of our curve, and we are going to make a polyline. We're going to make a polyline of that curve with the same length, but we're going to draw it on the top view. Okay, so we're going to draw a polyline, and we're going to type in the length that we used for our other curve. Okay, we're going to make a polyline straight. You can see it here. Okay, you have the polyline, and on the top view, let's maximize the top view, and here we're going to use a revolve. I am going to make a curve. Okay, I'm going to make a curve that I'm going to revolve later. Okay, so I'm going to make any curve. Don't worry about doing it very precise, because you guys know that we can change it later. Okay, now here, if I want to end at the top or at the end of my axis, I press the tab button and I'm going to get my straight. Okay, as you see, I click here and press enter, and I will have a curve that is exactly where I want it. Very good. Now when I have this curve, I'm going to create an offset curve. Okay, offset curve. Choose this one, and the offset is going to be 0.3. Okay, click again, and I have two curves. After this, I need to join these two curves. I need to join them so I can revolve them later. So you know this option. We go to Curve, Blend Curves, select first curves to blend. I'm going to choose these two. Now they are together. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to apply the same option on the bottom part. Click the two, and now I have a closed curve. Okay? After I do that, I want to select all my curves. Okay? Do it from here, and I want to select all the curves and join them so I can turn it into one single curve. Okay, so here's our next step. Let's revolve these, but with record history on. That way I can change it. Okay, so I'm going to put it back. I'm going to restore the viewports. That way we can see all of them at the same time. I'm going to go to record history, surface, revolve. Now select curves to revolve. I'm going to use this one. Okay, now the start of my axis is going to be this one that I created. Okay, on the floor pane. Then my start angle is 0 and 360, of course. Okay, so here I have a huge faucet that, of course, I can change. Okay, so I can click on the curve. Okay, turn the control points on, and I can change anything I want. I can change this. Okay, and I can make this like this. Okay, and I can even make this a little bit narrow. Okay, so you guys can play with that. Okay, so here I have part of my faucet. As a matter of fact, I think I can put this smaller. Okay. Okay, I can change the curve inside or outside. Okay, very good. Okay, now you guys can make your design. Perfect. Okay, now that we have the tube, we are going to put this tube on this curve. So we have a new option. Okay, we have a new tool. We're going to go to transform, and we're going to choose flow along a curve. Okay, flow along curve. Now on the command line, it says select objects to flow. I'm going to select the tube that I created. Press enter. Now the base of the curve is going to be this one over here. That's the base, and it says select near one end. That's the end that I want to install. So I'm going to click here on this point, and then on the command line it says target curve. Now select near matching end. So near the matching end is this one over here. Okay, and voila, here we go. Now he took all this surface and he put it along the curve that I made. Okay, so you put this surface, that's why it has to be the same size, otherwise it's not going to look very well. So here I can just delete this, and I can look at my faucet. Now I can renderize it. Okay, if you don't like how it looks, you can change the curve that you did. Okay, so you can change it if you think it's too thick. You can always change the curve and make it more thinner. Control points, and just a little bit. Okay. You can put it you can make anything you like, and then of course put it back. Okay. Now I'll apply it again. Apply the same. Transform. Flow along curve. Objects. Here and here. Okay. So here I have my faucet. Now I can erase this model, and I can see it rendered and see how it looks. Now this is the project that you should do, completely personalized, completely different. Then after that I can go to analyze and analyze surface and see how it looks with another type of so I'm going to select everything, press enter. I'm going to see how it looks under a different view. So here it looks like it's stainless steel, and I can change gold and see how it looks. Zebra. Okay, so in this case you guys can change and see how it looks under different renders. Okay, so good luck guys, and I hope to see very cool designs and nice projects. That way we can understand, and this is the final of the first part of basic tools using Rhinoceros. Okay, good luck.